Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for XRL X3 to get underway. We are on the precipice, 9th race of the season here, as we are now into the middle third of the season. The points battle has begun to take place, take shape, and now we come to Hungary, a circuit that is known for not being very easy to pass at, almost like a wallless Monaco. But before we get too far into the race itself, we want to go ahead and talk for a little bit about the points battle as they stand right now. Again, one thing to consider is that one of our championship contenders was moved up to X2 relatively early on in the season. That's kind of changed the way the entire points battle is structured right now for X3 as a standing stay at the moment. When it comes to the championship battle in the constructors, at the bottom is still AlphaTauri with 37 points. William has 43. Alpine has 51. There's a tie for 6 between Alfa Romeo and Haas. They both have 57 points. There are 65 constructor points for the McLaren team, 78 for the Mercedes team, 82 for Red Bull, 125 for Scuderia Ferrari, and 127 for Aston Martin. Then you come to the Drivers' Championship, and things have taken a significant change in pace there. ConstantJet and ITZ still have yet to earn points this season. Plastic Glove has 4 points, Trey 9530 has 5, Fratters has 7, Dave Ewart has 10, XRL Pingu has 12, Ocean Lion 08 has 17, just one off of Wild Nissan GTR who has 18. TIR Flavor is staying at 20 points, Boothy has 25 points, Snake has 29, X Hits the Spot has 31, Collyboy has 32 points. 6th in the standings is Schold with 41 points, Schumacher SF7 has 46, XRL Fiend has 51, Stone Shuffle has 55, and there is a tie on the top of the point standings between XRL Augustia in the Red Bull and Shelby IX Spark in the Ferrari. So, the battle is really heating up, and just like we saw last season, Ferrari is trying to bring the fight to it. It's all going to be a matter of not collapsing in this middle stretch of the season like we saw happen last season. 19 drivers are lined up for today's race. All 19 of them are full-time drivers. We were on the precipice of getting maybe all 20 seats filled by full-time X3 drivers. However, one of them has had to drop out lately due to personal health issues. So we may only be seeing 19 drivers. Might get a 20th driver if a reserve jumps in the middle of qualifying, but I wouldn't count it. I think 19 is what we're going to see. Prepare to get ready to load onto the circuit itself very shortly here for the qualifying session. So Hungary, one of the shortest and tightest circuits on the schedule, and realistically there are only 2 real overtaking opportunities, and even at that it's really just 1.5. There's the end of the straightaway, and then the run down to turn 2, and realistically, the run down to turn 2 only works as an overtaking opportunity as a crossover if you got past at the end of the main straight, or if you just wanted to wait to make the final overtake there instead of at the end of the main straight. It's really only 1.5 overtaking zones here. A lot of following, a lot of keeping tires alive, and being lucky and fortunate when it comes to strategy calls for this race. Yesterday in the Dev event, it was a very interesting event. Late in the race, the eventual race winner backed up the entire field under a yellow flag, and although that in itself didn't cause an accident, the intense bunching of the field changed the entire grid ordering from second on back and led to 3 different drivers DNFing, just trying to get clean track and ended up taking their races out. The same then happened yesterday in the XRL race earlier in the event. And then on top of that, in yesterday's XRL race, it was partially helped by the fact that there was rain late, but out of only 16 starters, only 6 of them finished, only 5 of them on the lead lap at that. Just a lot of single car instant spins. One driver got spun out and the game disqualified him before he was allowed to get his car moving again. So it's been a very chaotic weekend thus far for XRL in the other support races yesterday. We'll be interested to see if the same thing happens today. As we see right now, Plastic Love as well as Pingu and Herbago 91 are all out on circuit right now for out laps. Plastic Love trying to be the first driver to set lap time here today. A very interesting choice by Plastic Love. He immediately started laying on the ERS in the middle of this lap, so when he gets to the start-finish line, he's only going to have enough ERS to really help him go full bore for one proper lap. I mean, I guess they also probably have that car very, very low fuel as it comes out of the final corner on the run down to the line to begin the first flying lap here. This is just a little bit farther back. This is Mantic Meatcrat, the Aston Martin, coming out of the final corner on the run to begin his run. Aston Martin in competition for the Manufacturers' Championship right now against the Ferrari team. They still have, the Aston Martin team still does have the head up with that. As you see one of the McLarens pull off there. That is likely Aaron Marr who was pulled off. I'm sorry, XRL Snake who was pulled off there to let Meatcrat go by. Herbago and the Haas, not the Haas, I'm sorry. Herbago in the Alfa Romeo already in the middle of a flying lap. He's going to try and be the third driver to cross the line with one. XRL Pingu is the Haas driver, who's a bit ahead of him. Again, 19 drivers here. That means that when it comes down to it, 4 of them will get dropped out of Q1 and will not get a chance to go into Q2. Plastic Love says the time that everyone else will be chasing for a while, 1:19.390, although that time will likely fall as the session goes on. Here comes Pingu at the line, 1:17.852, much closer to what we were anticipating. There's been an incident as Wild Nissan GTR in the middle of an outlap has gone and spun off circuit there at the end of Sector 2. Hilariously enough, it seems like the game says that his lap is still legal. Mantic Meatcrat to the top now to 1:17.119. Whoa! Look at Aston Martin with a spin in the back! That was ITZ, who still has yet to earn a point. Well, I'm sure ITZ part in his chest there, but hilariously enough, it's still a legal lap right now for him, so he can cross the line, and he spins again, and Kansai Dorifto! Nani? Wow, I didn't think you could chuck an F1 car in there and just drift it like that, but that's what he did. A spin and an outrageously crazy drift. And he's on another lap. There's been an incident. That would be XRL Snake back. No, that's not Snake. That is his teammate Marr, who's already set a lap time. Marr has had an incident back there in Sector 2, and he spins again. He's going to back off the circuit right now, so that way the Haas can go ahead and sneak by without issue. But the situation seems to be much the same as it was yesterday in both Dev and XRRL, because of the stop and starting nature of the circuit. After you spin, especially if you're spinning in sector 1 or 2, well, basically anywhere on this bloody circuit, you don't have enough time to let the tires get down to a normal, manageable temperature again, and it's very easy to overload the tires in the subsequent corner and spin again. Aaron Marr's teammate Snake has set the second fastest time thus far, but Gusty in the Red Bull, though he's come back into the pits now, has been able to successfully break the 117 barrier, although I imagine we'll see other drivers doing the same. This is V8 Irons. He is right behind the 2 Ferraris. Schumacher and Shelby both pull aside, but it looks like in that Ferrari camp, they're going to try a little bit of shenanigans with the DRS. If Schumacher can stay close enough to his teammate Shelby on the run down into their first flyer lap, it may give Schumacher an advantage when it comes to the DRS. The counterpoint, though, is that would turn into a hindrance later on because Chubby would end up holding up Schumacher for the rest of the lap. It is a possibility, but this would definitely be one of the most difficult circuits to pull it off at. While Nissan GTR is also on an outlap right now and just entering Sector 2. And now we see Alfa Romeo beginning to pull out of pit lane. That would be Dave Ewart, I imagine, who is about to come onto the circuit. Yep, that's Dave Ewart, who has now entered turn 1. Looks like the gap between the Ferraris have opened up a bit. So we're going to go silent right on board with one of our two championship contenders, WIX Spark, for a full lap here around Hungary. There, folks. WIX Spark to the top of the timesheets with 1:16.255. His teammate Schumacher, though, not able to keep it clean for the entire lap. Now, Nissan sets a time of 1:17.723. We're going to see Stone Shuffle begin his flying lap farther back. And TIR Flavor is also about to begin his lap. TIR Flavor earned his second different podium finish in XRL yesterday. And Flavor's result came not after the backup test, avoiding time penalties, although that did help. He got a podium after fighting legitimately on pace for podium spots and even the lead at some points the entire day long. So Flavor seems to have finally turned things around, has increased his performance level in the last week, at least in XRL. I'll be interested to see if he can mimic that same improvement in performance here in X3. Nissan was pulled over on the circuit to let other drivers by. Dave Ewart began his flying lap. Ocean Line is already in the middle of one right now. Only 11 drivers have set lap times thus far, but we will likely see that change. Ocean Line has invalidated his lap. This is Constant Jet on the exit of Sector 3. The game apparently thinks that he's been going on this lap for 7 minutes. I find that extremely unlikely. There is no way he's taken 7 minutes to complete this lap. But apparently it's invalid irregardless, so he's going to have to go for another shot at this. This is Dave Ewart, 55.857 at the end of Sector 2. Relatively clean qualifying session, which is an improvement over what we saw in Dev and XRL yesterday. A little bit of a slide there from Dave Ewart. He keeps it together. And his lap at the line will be a 1:18.643. So as it is now, Wild Nissan is out! And Nissan is out! And he has had an accident there on the run out of turn, on the And Nissan is out, and he had just set a 117.723. We're going to try and get Nissan in here, his perspective. But an accident for Wild Nissan will prevent him from starting any better than 16th. Ocean Lion in the middle of a clean lap for the moment. Constant Jet is going to come across the line with a 117.995. Plastic Glove still on the outside looking in right now. Ocean Lion coming to the line. 118.289. So now both TIR Flavor and Plastic Glove are on the outside looking in. Exit Spot has not yet come onto the circuit to set a lap. XRL Fiend is in the middle of one, though. Going to try and squeeze Dave Ewart out of the top 14, because as it stands right now, only 14 drivers would be able to make it to the next round. All right, coming into the party right now is Wild Nissan GTR. Nissan, go ahead, include your audio. Big accident there. What happened?
Went too much at curb, to be fair. Yeah. Had a bit too much power round corner and lost it. And that's it.
Alright, well, that's a big hit there. Do you think you can recover in the race and get back into the points-paying positions?
Not sure, to be fair. I think go with the flow and see how well I do, to be fair.
Alright, so Travis, to see you out this early in qualifying. I will say this also, you had set a respectable time at the time of that accident, and that seems to be having a knock-on effect already in qualifying, as drivers who would have made it in are now trapped on the outside because you put a blistering lap down. So, I guess if you can't get into Q2 yourself, you gotta take some other guys with you.
We'll see about that. But I mean, I was set a good sector time, fastest sector 1, and yeah, obviously lost it round corner, had a bit too much power, like I said.
Well, it's a shame, but we will look forward to you hopefully being able to make up positions in the race itself.
Alright, cheers.
Alright, we turn our focus to Plastic Glove now on the circuit. Slowest lap time thus far. He's going to try and improve on that here. Very start and stoppy throughout Sector 2. There's not really a sense of flow throughout the entire back third of the circuit. That's the main thing that really harms you, even if you've got a great one. And Plastic Glove invalidates. It's going to be a while until he can get another shot. Dave Ewart is on another outlap and exits the spot, is in the middle of a lap right now. Gusty retires from the session. He feels confident with his lap time as it stands. X at the line at the end of Sector 1, 27.132. But as I was saying about Sector 2, there's not really a sense of flow, and that's one of the things that really lead the circuit into not being able to have many overtakes. There's a lot of slow and medium speed corners and chicanes throughout the entirety of Sector 2, and it's hard to properly stay in the draft of someone else through there. Even if these cars weren't aero monsters, it would still be a real difficulty for them to be able to do so. Alright, X now just has 3 more corners left. A roughly 90-degree corner right here. Throws it down to 3rd gear. Powers out relatively smoothly. And now 2 long 180-degree sweepers. He will be the last driver to set a time in the session. And a bunch of drivers have retired from the session. They feel very confident in their lap times as it stands. X at the line will set a 116.330. So a very, very respectable time on his end. ITZ, another invalid lap. He was up on time at the end of Sector 2. And is actually up on time overall, but it's not valid. He's going to have to go again and hope that he can make something happen with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Dave Ewart in the middle of the lap right now. He is up by almost half a second. But as it stands, that would be enough to get him over Ocean Lion, but we'd still only have 14 drivers going into the next round. Nissan having put down an incredible, well, not an incredible lap, but a very competitive lap, and then DNFing is going to really wreak havoc to getting a proper 15-car run in Q2. TIR Flavor and Ocean Lion both in pit lane right now. Constant Jet is on the bubble and might get knocked out here by Dave. Coming to the line in the Alfa Romeo, Dave Ewart will set a lap time. He lost a chunk of time in Sector 3, actually ended up being down by over a second. ITZ, another invalid lap. And with only 1 minute and 48 seconds left, I don't see any way that he's going to be able to get another shot at this unless he has a lot of fuel and can make a good lap without having a lot of ERS in the bank. He's going for another lap. TIR Flavor retires from the session in the pit lane. He knows that he can't go any faster, so he has relegated himself to a last place starting position. Ocean Lion still in the pits, and he's not made any motion to come out onto the circuit. That means that Lion will not be able to advance, so it's all right now down to ITZ and Dave Ewart if either of them can knock Herbago or Constant Jet out of Q2. Roughly 1 minute left in the session. Herbago and Constant Jet are also out on circuit right now, trying to go faster. XRL Pingu is in the middle of an out lap, but he's not going to make it to the start-finish line in time to go faster. And there is. ITZ invalidates again, so he will not advance. What about Dave Ewart? He's up by 1.1 seconds, so he puts himself up into Q2. Constant Jet is out, Ocean Lion is out, ITZ is out, and less Constant Jet. Oh, and Pingu has had a spin in Sector 2. Here comes Constant Jet. Is he up on time enough to get back in? No. 17.995 continues to be his best time, but he has this last shot at going faster. ITZ. Can he make it to the line, and does he have enough fuel to go for another lap? He will make it to the line in time for one more shot. He cannot afford to invalidate again. Pingu will not make it to the line in time to go faster. Aaron Marr also at risk of being knocked out if ITZ and Constant Jet both put good laps in. ITZ has invalidated his last 3 laps. He has almost no ERS, and his tires are definitely feeling the wear right now. He's still clean through that sector. That's where he invalidated prior. Oh, there's wing pieces and debris there, and that's going to invalidate it. It cut his tire, I think, and now ITZ gets invalidated after running wide after cutting his tire on debris, so he's out. Constant Jet has aborted his attempt as well. So the session is over, and for ITZ, he's in the wall. The damage was too much, the tire has gone down, and he's in the wall. He's going to miss being able to make it into pit lane as well, with the entire front wing gone like that. But it won't matter. When he crosses the line, the session will come to a close. For ITZ, his inability to set clean laps early on meant that he had to perform late. And while he was performing, circumstances beyond his control took him out of the fight for Q2. So this is the drivers who will advance into the next round, as it's Fiend, Chubby, X hits the spot, Mantic, Meatcrap, V8, Irons, Gusty, Snake, Stone Shuffle, Schumacher, SF7, Herbago, Plastic Love, Dave Ewart, Aaron Marr, and Pingu, who will advance, and the drivers that will not advance will be Nissan, Constant Jet, Ocean Lion, ITZ, and TIR Flavor. Once again, Plastic Love tries to be the first driver out on the circuit, but this time he is beaten by the Aston Martin of Mantic Meekrat. Only one Aston Martin in Q2, and that's going to hurt them when it comes to the Manufacturers' Championship battle. Right now, the choice seems to be predominantly soft tires. Or, no, not predominantly, but it seems to be split between soft and mediums, with softs having a very slight advantage as it stands right now. 6 mediums, 8 soft tires equipped. Mantic Meekrat already laying on the ERS. Sector 2. Mantic Meekrat begin his lap. He is on the soft tire compound. Plastic Love, farther back, is on the medium tires. So it'll be interesting to see what the comparison is between them. We have seen a few times before, most notably about 2 weeks ago at Austria, that the medium tires, under right circumstances, can be faster than the softs. It looks like Plastic Love has... Not Plastic Love, his teammate Gussie has pulled over there in Sector 2. I wonder if there's something wrong with that car. I'll have to pull over if he's just trying to... Well, he's got plenty of clean track ahead of him now. The next car up the road is already in turn 1, so Gussie now will begin a flyer. XRL Spark, that is that next car up the road. Tied for the points lead as it stands for now. He is electing to qualify on the soft tire compounds for now. That would be, I believe, Dave Ewart, who's a little bit ahead of him on the circuit there. Yeah, it is Dave Ewart, who's farther ahead of Chubby. Runs wide, but it's still clean. Mantic Meekrat, time to beat 117.918. We'll see Plastic Love cross the line shortly after, showcase what the medium tires have in comparison. And Aaron Marr is out! And Aaron Marr has crashed out in Sector 2. And that's it for him. One of the McLarens will not advance into Q2 regardless of what happens now. Looks like he may have spun. Oh god, that's right in the middle of the racetrack. Taking a while to get his car off the circuit, but we're going to try and get Aaron Marr in here and hear what he had to say, what has to say about what took him out there. So already our first DNF of Q2. We saw one in Q1, now another one in Q2. Oh, and Hermago hard into the wall, and he spins, rips up the entire front wing. He's going to try and spin around so that way he can get into pit lane, sneak in between the gap between Pingu and the Aston Martin of Mantic Meekrat. Needs to be careful not to overspeed it on the entrance into pit road here. He keeps pulling over to let other drivers by, and that's compromising more and more time away from him. But he will make it into the pits just ahead of the Ferrari of XRL Spark, who has the fastest time thus far. Dave Ewart has the fastest time on the mediums as we speak. Pingu in the other Haas, as V8 Irons has not yet left the pits. He's in the middle of a lap right now in Sector 2. Plastic Love trying to set up for another outlap, exits the spot, is on an outlap as well. Pingu will try and be the 6th driver to set time in the session, and the 3rd to do it with the mediums. Medium tires, that is. if the fuel's not an issue, Pingu honestly could probably stay on track and go for another shot with this set of tires. He has the ERS to go full bore for another lap. Oh, and Dave Ewart's out now! Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage, and Dave Ewart is now out. Classic Love has to pull over as Gusty's going to fly on by. I think they might be trying a little something here, as Gusty has already set a lap and Plastic has not yet. Well, nope, never mind. But we're going to try and get Dave Ewart in here. And 2 DNFs in this session, and we've not even seen all the drivers set laps yet. Classic Love already invalid on this lap. Exits the spot. Will be the next driver to try and set a time, the 7th to set a time. Interesting enough, Dave Ewart had what's the second fastest time overall, well, fastest overall with the mediums. And now to WIX Spark, he set a lap on the softs, and now he's trying to go out there and better that on the medium tires. X on the softs. 27.031 at the end of Sector 1. Now he gets into the choppy bit of Sector 2 here. That's Herbago, who's farther up the road right now. But I think the gap between them will be enough that they won't impact each other's laps. Both Ferraris on an out lap. Oh, Herbago just pulled off altogether to let X go by. Last 2 corners here. X trying to keep it very smooth. And the 8th driver to set a time in the session will be X hits the spot at the line. He'll set a lap time of 1:16.337. That's the fastest we've seen thus far. Stone Shuffle and XRL Fiend both are on the run to the line now. Fiend jumps up to a 1:16.986. That's the fastest of the medium tire drivers. Oh, and Herbago has had a spin. In the middle of his first flying lap, he's had a spin, and he's not the only one. The Red Bull of Plastic Love has spun as well up there in Sector 2. No damage to either car. They'll both be able to continue, but it will compromise their laps. Schumacher in the Ferrari coming around. He'll finally get his lap in, and it will be a 1:17.573 on the medium tires. His teammate Chubby already set a very fast lap on the softs. Now he's trying to go faster on the mediums. At the line, he does. He improves by roughly 11 hundredths on the medium tires. So as it stands now, Pingu is on the outside looking in. He needs to beat Dave Ewart's time of a 1:18.554. Same thing with Herbago and same thing with Irons. Herbago spun at the start of this lap and will have to try again. But he's saving up his ERS and will be able to go full bore if he so chooses. He's coming into the pits. That's his choice apparently. He may have flat spotted the tires. Irons has yet to come out of the pits. Same with Pingu. X has the fastest lap time in Stone Shuffle now. Is the second fastest with 1:16.976. Gusty set his time on the mediums, but he's starting to feel pressure, and he's going back out on the softs. The track is a lot more empty now than where it was earlier. Here comes Gusty to begin his flyer on the soft tires, trying to best what he had on the mediums. A significant improvement by Gus C, as he is now the second fastest driver on the track with a 1:16.728. Herbago and Pingu are now both on outlaps, trying to get into the top 10. They need to beat Dave Ewart's time of 1:18.554 in order to do so. Pingu has set a lap time, but it's not been faster than Dave's. Herbago has not been able to set a lap time yet. He tried earlier on the mediums, could not make it stick. Now he's going on the softs. Pingu went on the mediums before, he's on the mediums again. V8 Irons in the other Haas is still in pit lane and has yet to make a move onto the circuit. Stone Shuffle and Fiend have both retired from the session. They feel confident with their lap times. Little bit of a drift and a slide there from Pingu. The second to last corner, he can't afford to have that happen on his actual lap. Hi Quartz, I don't mind if you stay here, but I'm in the middle of broadcasting a F1 race. Alright, Pingu. You can stay, I don't mind. Just gotta be quiet. Alright, Pingu, in the middle of the lap now. Riding through Sector 1. At the end of Sector 1, he'll have a time of 27.613 seconds. So he's up already by almost a quarter against his prior best lap time. So as it stands right now, if he can maintain that advantage, he would draw almost even, if not slightly better, than Dave. That's his teammate V8 Irons, who's on an outlap there. He pulls over and let Pingu by. Also of note, Herbago is farther up the racetrack, trying to go faster as well. Both of them trying to squeeze Dave Ewart out of the top 10, so they have a shot at it. Plastic Glove is back on the circuit, trying to go faster, because he knows that if Pingu, Herbago, and Irons all go fast enough to get into the top 10, Plastic Glove is going to get squeezed out. Mantic Meekrat is still in the pits, but the time is only at 1 minute and 30 seconds left. I don't see any way that he's going to be able to get back onto the circuit in time. Pingu across the line with a 1:18.376. So he's in. Plastic Glove and Dave Ewart are out. Herbago has jumped up to 7th. That would be the 4th fastest time of everyone on the softs thus far. V8 Irons now in the middle of his lap. There's a minute left on the clock, so for Irons and Plastic Glove, this will be their only shot. Pingu is going to have to try and go faster again to make sure that he's not squeezed out by either Plastic Glove or Irons. As it stands right now, the two Haas's might end up compromising each other, and Pingu's had an accident. Pingu has had an accident on his second lap, so that's it for him. The time to beat is going to be a 1:18.376 for Plastic Glove and Pingu's teammate Irons. Herbago is still on track ahead of Irons right now, but he's on a cooldown lap. He pulls over to let Irons by. Final corner and down to the start-finish line for Irons. Will he kick his teammate out? Boy, does he ever! 1:17.135, and he has what it takes to go for another lap if he so chooses. Pingu into the wall. The car is destroyed. He is out. 3 DNFs in a single session. What can Plastic Glove do? Can Plastic Glove take Mantic Meekrat out of the top 10? I don't think he's fast enough. It looks like he's a little bit off on time. At the line, does he improve? He's in, and he kicked Mantic Meekrat at the last moment. Plastic Glove makes it in. Pingu is out. And that will be the end of the session. Three DNFs in Q2 after only seeing 1 in Q1. A very chaotic session. Of note, V8 Irons is on a lap, but it's a cooldown lap right now. Yeah, Quartz, you can just go ahead. Yeah, okay, well, he's gone now. Okay. So V8 Irons is in, and he's on his cooldown lap right now. The fastest driver overall is going to be X Hits the Spot at the end of it all. For Aaron Marr, Dave Ebar, and Pingu, accidents, and they were not able to break the 118 barrier at all in the end. And for Mantic Meatcrat, frustration. He's the only Aston Martin to have made it into Q2 and will not be able to start better than 11th. Also of note, Fiend, Chubby Spark, and Schumacher are the only 3 drivers who will be starting the race on the medium tire compound. Everyone else around them will be starting on the softs. So here's your lineup. X, Gusty, Stone Shuffle, Fiend, Spark, Irons, Schumacher, Herbago, Snake, and Plastic Glove all advance. Mantic Meatcrat, Pingu, Dave Ebar, and Aaron Marr will not. The ranking times from the fastest to the slowest of the 10 that made it into the next round is 1.359. Preparing to get onto track for the qualifying shootout for the pole position. Alright, so there we are. First driver is out into the circuit. It's X hits the spot this time. He's going to be joined by McLaren Snake and Chubby IX Spark. Now we're starting to see nearly the entire field coming out into the circuit. Only 3 cars still on... Actually, only 2 cars still on pit lane. There is a third one that is on pit lane, but he's already on the run down onto the circuit. I'm interested to see if X is going to pull over and give Snake a little bit more room. Chubby threads both of them as both of them move aside for him. So your championship, one of your 2 championship leaders right now, going to spool ahead and then pull back to back up the guys behind. Coming in a line. Already laying on the ERS, and the DRS is open. Chubby began his lap. The only car not on track right now is Stone Shuffle. Everyone else is either in the middle of a lap or about to begin a lap. Herbago in a frustrating position, although he will have some draft off of Schumacher SF7 ahead. It's going to compromise his lap significantly throughout Sector 2. So now everyone in the middle of a lap except for Plastic Love. This is V8 Irons. The first one who's going to cross the line will set the standard for everyone else. It's not going to be Chubby because he's invalidated his lap very quickly. It's going to be this man here. X hits the spot in the Williams. At the line, X will set a lap time of 1:16.369. Very comfortably breaking the 117 barrier. He's definitely has the pace. Snake aborted his lap attempt. Gusty now goes faster with 1:16.312. Here comes Schumacher. He's clean this time by. He'll set a lap time of 1:16.070. So now the question is, who's going to break the 1:16 barrier and get into the 1:15s? This is V8 Irons. He has invalidated his lap. Fiend, one of your other championship contenders, is on the run to the start-finish line now. The rear wing opens. At the line, Fiend will set a time of 1:17.209. That's not going to be good enough to be competitive. Plastic Love will be the next driver to cross the line. Chubby is on another lap right now. He has the ERS to go full bore here. He waited relatively late to turn on the ERS on his warm-up. That works in his favor. Herbago off circuit. And Chubby invalidates again, runs a little bit too wide there. Alright, looks like Herbago's back going again. He just pulled over and let other drivers by. So Plastic Love has aborted his lap attempt and is now coming into the pit lane. And with Chubby invalid right now, that means that Irons will be the next driver to set a time. Stone Shuffle still in the pits, has not yet made an attempt to get back onto the circuit. For Irons, he'll have to make this lap be his best one because he does not have a lot of ERS in the tank right now. Everyone ahead of Irons coming into the pits right now. In fact, we're coming to the point in the race where the track becomes relatively close to empty. Irons at the line, 1:16.484. That's the fourth best time we've seen thus far. Snake is on another outlap right now. Fiend up to second with a 1:16.189. Snake, a veteran of X3, has been here for a while. Usually used to be in the Mercedes with Books. Now he's in a Mercedes-powered McLaren. 2 more corners left on this lap for him. Then he begin his flyer. Fiend, V8 Irons, and Herbago are all also still on track. I'm pretty sure they're all on cooldown. Yeah, Herbago's invalidated this lap. V8 Irons is on a cooldown lap. And for Fiend, yeah, he's on a cooldown lap as well. Chubby back on circuit. He got on circuit relatively early on. He may have to move aside for this man here, Snake. But other than that, it's going to be a relatively clean track ahead for the Ferrari. Fiend now is in the pits. Herbago saved up his ERS and he's going to go for another lap. Those tires are going to have a decent amount of wear on them, but he believes he can go faster. Right now, he is 9/10 slower than the next fastest guy of everyone who has set lap times. Snake, purple sector 2. And the final corner now is Snake. Steps a little bit wide, but he's still in good control of it. At the line, Snake, 1:16.322. That's good enough for 4th fastest. Now the focus goes to Plastic Love and Chubby IX Spark. Stone Shuffle is still in the pits and still has not yet made an attempt to come onto this racetrack. Snake pulls over to let Chubby by and pulls all the way off circuit so Plastic Love can sneak by. And Plastic invalidates it, and Chubby invalidated it, trying to get by Snake. So, yeah, it's going to be a while until we see anyone get another lap going. For Shelby's favor, though, he cool down early, not burn the tires up too quickly, start saving fuel, start saving ERS very early. He will get another chance, maybe even 2 more chances, depending on how this goes. It's going to be clean track ahead for Shelby. Gusty is coming onto the circuit, but he's still down in turn 1. Shelby's aborted his attempt. Plastic Love is going to keep at it, though. So completely clean track for Plastic Love. He got dirty trying to get by Snake earlier. Now there's no one on circuit except for his teammate way up the road, and then Stone Shuffle has finally come on track. Fiend is coming onto the circuit now. No one has broken the 116 barrier yet. Plastic Love is going to see if he can not only set a time, but maybe potentially get a pole by breaking that 116 barrier. Uphill. Then into the chicane. Very smooth with the car through there. Don't want to be too aggressive in the curbs. Around from about turns 4 to about turn 8. Arcep's a little wide there, but he saved it. He brought it back, but that will take a little bit of time away from him. Gusty at the line, beginning a faster lap, and Plastic spins on his lap. He can keep going, though. He can keep going and go for another lap if he so chooses. He has not yet set a time in the session, and he's going to bring it into the pits. So now the focus goes to Stone Shuffle. Everyone except for Snake is either just recovered from a lap, in the middle of a lap, or setting up for one. Minute and 55 seconds left. Plastic Love, if he's going to try and set a lap time, he's going to have to get back onto the circuit as fast as possible. Around that final corner, Stone Shuffle, the only Mercedes factory team to make it to Q3, will set a lap time of 1:16.445. So now the pressure's all on Plastic Love and Shelby Spark. Shelby has clean track ahead of him. He's invalidated his last attempt after trying to navigate traffic ahead. No worry about that now. That is his teammate Schumacher SF7, who is slow farther up the road. I have to wonder if maybe there's going to be an attempt to do some DRS shenanigans. They're not close enough, I don't think, to make it work, though. Schumacher on another lap. There's less than a minute in the session. Schumacher cannot afford to screw up. I mean, Shelby cannot afford to screw up. This is his only attempt at setting a lap. Plastic Love is back out on the circuit, trying to go for another lap. Of note, Plastic Love is actually behind his teammate Gusty on the circuit. V8 irons out of nowhere to the top with a 116.025. Oh, and Schumacher's out, and Shelby's teammate Schumacher has crashed just up the road and is going to block the track for Shelby. He barely makes contact, but I don't think it's going to damage the car at all. And Herman goes out. And the damage is so much, and now X gets hit as well. He's made contact as well. And it's gone from bad to worse. Plastic will not get a set lap time. What can Shelby do? He cannot afford to invalidate here. Coming to the line. Shelby, his only attempt at doing this. He's to the top, 1:15.969. V8 Irons is still in the middle of the lap right now. Stone Shuffle is out as well. Stone Shuffle hit Herbago's car. So 3 DNFs in the final round of qualifying. Fiend Is he up on time enough to get the point? Yes, he steals pole back from Shelby. Our 2 championship leaders will be starting front row unless... No, V8 Irons is aboard the attempt. So Fiend, in the end, steals the point for pole position. And it's going to be the championship contenders going at it against each other as Schumacher, Stone Shuffle, and Herbago all have accidents on the last minute of the session. For Chubby, he needs to outdrag XRL Fiend on the run down to turn 1. That's the only way he's going to get into the lead now. And here, coming into the party now, is Stone Shuffle. Stone Shuffle, 1 second. Stone Shuffle, go ahead, make sure your audio is included. You're in the middle of the lap there, trying to go faster, and then you end up crashing out. It looked like you hit the back of Herbago's car there. Am I correct?
Yeah, I just had a bit of an incident there, just lapse in concentration. Apologies for the accident, just not a great bit of driving, unfortunately.
To be fair, it wasn't your fault. That was an accident that was 30 seconds in the making. Schumacher crashed, then Herbago hit Schumacher's stranded car, and then obviously you had nowhere to go with Herbago just there in the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, even so, I never like being involved in incidents, so it's always unfortunate when it happens, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you will still be able to start relatively respectively, starting the 8th position. So, do you think you can make it into the podium positions?
Well, I went for a bit of an alternate strategy by starting on the softs, so I'm hoping a lot of the guys will be on the mediums around me, so I'll have an advantage for the first few laps.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that 3 of the top 4 are on mediums and everyone else in the top 10 is starting on softs.
Great win for the softs, super. I was kind of hoping that wouldn't happen. I hadn't really been paying attention, but I don't know. My biggest strength, I think, is being able to stay relatively penalty-free and have a clean race. So I'm kind of hoping that that'll count for me when it comes down to it.
All right, well, we're going to let you go because it's now the 5-minute countdown until the race itself starts. Good luck in the event.
Yeah, thanks very much. Cheers.
We're going to try one more time to get Schumacher in here, but if he doesn't respond, we will let him be. After a 3-car accident at the very end of Q3, so we saw a total of 7 DNFs out of the 19 drivers in qualifying alone, so I think we could see another very, very chaotic and crash-filled race today for X3. Get a standby right now as we're on the countdown until we get into the race itself. as we go ahead and pull up game. Yeah, we go ahead and pull up the race director so we can see everyone who's going to be on the mediums. It looks like I'm wrong. It looks like Snake also will be on the mediums. But in the top 10, there are 5 drivers on the softs apparently, and, well, 6 drivers on the softs, 4 on the mediums, so I was a little bit wrong there. Mantic Meatcrap will start on the mediums, as will Pingu and Dave Ewart. Aaron will start on the softs. Wild Nissan will start on the mediums. Constant Jet on the hards. That will be something to watch for. Ocean Lion on the mediums. ITZ on the softs. And TR Flavor also on the hards. So if those drivers on the hard tires can avoid chaos, this could end up being a very interesting race. Just waiting right now until we get underway. Four lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, away we go, and right out the back, Classic Love jumped the start. He's up a bunch of positions, but is likely going to get penalized for that jump. He's already up to the 4th position, and at the front, it is going to be Feed. WIX Mark your championship materials already plummeted down to 4th, but Classic Love with a penalty after jumping the start right away. He's going to have to serve a drive-through. Oh, and his teammates around. That's Gusty, who was around back there in the back of the field. ITZ has also taken damage and had that entire front end ripped off and very nearly runs into Gusty. But at the front, it is Fiend, Irons, Classic Love, Chubby, and Schumacher. Chubby very upset with what Classic Love did. He's already trying to get by. Very blatant jump on Classic Love's part. Chubby's on the inside, wants to see if he can get by. X gets by Schumacher further back as Schumacher steps out wide. He's going to lose the position to Snake as well. Oh, and Gusty has had an accident. Gusty has had an accident back there. Oh, and Schumacher now is in an accident. And the entire front wing's gone. There's accidents suddenly happening all across the entire racetrack. Classic Love taking his drive-through now, and this will drop him even farther back than where he was. For Constant Jet, this is great for him because he's going to come out here in the 13th position after the first lap. Ocean Lion, to his inside, though, is going to try and take one of those positions back. Also going to try and make a move against Herbago. He's able to complete it. They make a little bit of contact, though, on the run down. Side by side, who's it going to be? Constant Jet on the outside, and there's a virtual safety car for the multitude of incidents that have occurred on the circuit. For Schumacher and ITZ, that's great because that means it will reduce the amount of time that they lost. at the front. These two, Fiend and Irons, have opened up a small gap on the rest of the field. Shelby is going to have to hope that he can find some way to get up there and catch Fiend after bottling it on the start, not being helped at all by Plastic Glove jumping it. But we should be going green relatively shortly here. Still under this virtual safety car. Ooh, the Williams behind, having a little bit of trouble keeping heat in the tires as exits the spot back there. Dave Ewart is going to pit under the safety car, as will Pingu and Herbago. So various drivers trying to get onto an alternate strategy here. Looks like there's damage on Ewart's car that's also factoring into it. Here comes Pingu and Herbago, and there we are. Aaron Marr now has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, and he had gotten from crashing out of Q1 all the way up into 7th here. Well, crashing out of Q2 now up to 7th, and now another drive-through, and that's going to hurt him significantly. But exits the spot, is now on the soft tires compared to Shelby on the mediums. He will be putting pressure on him. Shelby needs to kick the tires and light the fires and start running down the top two right now. Irons has lost touch with Fiend. And seeing as that has happened on the soft tires, it does not speak well for Irons' race today. Oh, and is that Herbago? That is someone, that is Dave, who was going off. He had just got new tires and a new wing, a fix to that car, and already off circuit. No damage, will be able to continue. That will drop him down to 15th just to add insult to injury. Aaron Marr has not yet served his drive-through penalty. He's hoping that the field gets a little bit more spread out, so when he does serve it, he's not going to lose as many positions. Ocean Lion, farther back, is pitting now in the top 10. So the damage to Ocean Lion's car, actually, no, there is no damage to that. Yes, there's a little bit of front wing damage. Farther up the grid. Exits the spot, continues to stalk Shelby IX Spark. As Fiend has opened up a significant gap on Irons right now. Gussie, fastest lap, although those times will inevitably drop as this race goes on. Well, I didn't mean the next 3 seconds, but okay. Look at this here. A little bit of a trolley train has formed behind the McLaren of Snake, and there goes Aaron Marr! He's off! A twitch, he's off, but he's able to save it. He will lose a position in the process, though. And he still needs to serve that drive-through. If I was in his position, I would serve it now before you run the risk of Constant Jet or TIR Flavor getting closer and capitalizing. Exits the spot within DRS range of Chubby. He's going to dive to the outside, can't get close enough to make the move stick, but Shelby can't run down the leaders. He has to play defense against this Williams here. Pingu over Dave Ewart, as Dave has had another issue farther back there. Sector 3 might lose a position of Schumacher as well. Glove will sneak by TIR Flavor. Glove has the benefit of sauce, while Flavor is trying to run long on the hards. Schumacher will get by Dave Ewart, as Dave seems to be having trouble keeping it on the circuit. We're wondering if there's front wing damage that we're not seeing. No, the car is all together, but he is having trouble keeping pace with Schumacher for the moment. Again, though, Schumacher was a relatively good qualifier in today's race. That would lead me at least to assume that he's got a good machine. V8 Irons pitting and taking off the soft tire compounds. That will promote Shelby up into the 2nd position, and Irons is still there within potential striking range. Not close enough yet, though. Irons throwing on the mediums, and he'll have to make at least one more stop in this race. And there's still this battle here as we ride out of the back of Snake's machine. We see Stone Shuffle and Mantic Meat Rat, two Mercedes-powered cars, chasing another Mercedes-powered car. Classic Jet gets a time penalty for track violations. Classic Love gets a penalty for track violations as well. Snake trying to open up a gap against the drivers behind. Classic Love has an incident that sends him off the circuit. Now promote TIR Flavor back into the 11th spot. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. X not close enough to make a move on Chubby. This is where it's going to be interesting here. Stone Shuffle not able to close on Snake. Mantic Meat Rat, he has DRS, but because Stone Shuffle also has DRS, he can use it as a defensive move. There will be no change for the moment. Schumacher now has a time penalty for track violations, trying to get by Pingu farther back in the field. Ooh, Mantic Meat Rat really sideways there. He tried to pull alongside Stone Shuffle, and the car was not having any of it. As X continues to hang out in the aerodynamic wake of Chubby's car. And the problem is, as the longer he does this, the worse it's going to hurt that Williams. You see him sliding there through the chicane, and he's around. He has gone all the way around and will fall all the way down to the 5th, 6th, maybe even 7th position if Wild Nissan gets his ducks in a row quickly enough. And for Chubby, that's perfect because, oh, it actually goes around again. And it backs into the wall. That's V8 Irons who's going to get by. So now the tires are overheated on X's machine. So overheated, worn salt tires. I think for X, the best bit for him would be to go ahead and come into the pits as soon as possible. As Aaron Marr is going to go around his outside to get by. Oh, drifting now. Those rears are completely burned off. Here it is, he will come in, put on a new set of tires. As we now take a look at Stone Shuffle, who has gotten himself promoted up into the 4th position. He is the highest of everyone who is still in the soft seat started on. Currently staying in the tire tracks of XRL Snake. So at the moment, it's between Fiend and Chubby for the lead of this race. Gusty has also come into the pits. X has put on hards, Gusty put on mediums. Irons gets by Wild Nissan because Nissan has had a spin on the run up and now he'll lose another position. That's to an Alpine. Here comes Aaron Marr on the softs. He'll go by as well. And for Wild Nissan needs to not overheat and spin out again in this chicane. And he's just gonna miss the chicane altogether, I guess. Oh, and there's been an incident. And is that Mantic Meat Rat? No, that is ITZ who has had an accident there in turn 1. He's back underway now, but Plastic Love has already gone a lap down, and ITZ may very well be the next driver to go a lap down here. And he's up backwards in turn 2. And now he goes a lap down. That's going to hold up Chubby just a bit here. Chubby in the Ferrari not going to be happy with this. He wants to get by this lap traffic as fast as possible. There it is. ITZ moves aside for him. And he spins again. That's 3 times in a lap. At this rate, Plastic Glove might actually be able to get by him. Yes, Plastic Glove's going to get by him. It's all gone from bad to worse for him. As now Wild Nissan GTR is in the pits and he is being joined by Exits the Spot, who apparently has damage to that car. What? 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 Okay. Pingu has had an accident. And the entire front wing is off the car, and it doesn't look like he's able to get going. The front suspension is damaged, and here comes the leaders. Fiend is going to get by without issue. And everything's gone wrong. That car is stalled and will not move, and there's not a yellow flag in this sector of the racetrack. And the game's broken. The game has broken. I repeat, the game has broken. I don't know what's happened anymore. So the game has now shattered itself. Pingu finally gets taken out of the race. Ooh, and there's Dave Ewart, and he's out. And now Dave's car is completely ruined on the circuit. And Pingu's car is still on the track. There is a full course safety car, but I don't think anyone knows where anybody is. Shelby is electing to come into the pits. The entire game has broken. Snake is pitted, Stone Shuffle's pitted, Plastic Glove is pitted. Shelby, who was second before the safety car and the game broke, is now somehow down in 13th, but he has hard tires on, and no one seems to know who is leading. Mantic Meatrat right now has been picked up by the safety car as if he is the leader. Fiend has also thrown on a set of hards as well. And the field completely busted. We have no idea who's supposed to be where at the moment. For Shelby, though, this will be good because the field seems to now be starting to set itself up properly again. He is in third, Fiend second. Mantic Meatrat apparently didn't pit or something, while the top two did, and that has given Mantic Meatrat the lead on worn mediums, while Fiend and Shelby will be on fresh hards that will likely go to the end of the race. So Shelby may have a chance to do something to Fiend if he can just stay in the draft of it. This will be a long safety car. And it's going to take a long time to order the field properly. So it looks like the field's just about sorted itself out to where it's supposed to be. And I don't see very many drivers electing to pit. At this point in the safety car, those who were going to pit have already done so. Of note, Plastic Glove and ITZ both a lap. No! And ITZ into the wall trying to come into the pit lane. And with one Aston Martin leading, the other one is semi-beached, trying to get into pit road. If the game chooses to ignore ITZ, though, the entire field will be able to bunch up, and we might be able to go green this lap. In fact, I think we should be able to go green this lap. Everyone's together except for ITZ, and ITZ is a lap down, actually closer to 2 laps down, so... Yep, there's the word. Safety car will be coming in this lap. So Mantic Meatcrat has now inherited the lead. The only good Aston Martin at the moment, trying to score points in the Manufacturers' Championship with 2 championship contenders behind him. Shelby in the Ferrari is one of the drivers bringing the Ferrari team against the Aston Martin team for that title. Coming to the green flag. Fiend has a good launch against Mantic Meatcrat, but not good enough to do anything. Farther back, though, there's been a bit of a stack-up. TIR Flavor did not get going whatsoever. Here comes Flavor. Here comes Gusty. They're going to try and make it 3 wide, maybe, going into turn 1. Gusty thinks better of it, but he will hold the inside line against TIR Flavor and filter Flavor back to 10th position. This is where it's all getting interesting. Shelby needs to find a way by Fiend as fast as possible. Meatcrat won't be able to keep the Alpine behind forever. Second and third, have tires that will last me the end. Mantic Meatcrat steps out there, but it seems like Shelby just can't keep pace with Fiend. Schumacher now gets by Flavor, so now both Ferraris are back in the points. Fiend still being held up by Mantic. But Fiend also seems to be a little bit quicker on corner exit and is letting him hold position over the Ferrari. Behind Shelby is V8 Irons, who has medium tires that still have some life in them. So he can't be crazy. He has to be a little bit conservative so as not to lose a position of the Haas behind. Fiend all over Mantic Meatcrat, but he makes a mistake. Steps wide, exiting the corner. Now Shelby has a run on Fiend. Will this be enough for him to make a dive bomb going into turn 1? I don't think so, but he's looking for a chance at it anyway. Thinks better of it, holds the line. Plastic Glove comes back into the pits now to repair damage to his car. The game's broken again. Alright, it fixed itself, thankfully. Just seems very clear that even with traffic holding up Fiend, Shelby does not have what it takes to keep pace with Fiend. The only time he closes in seems to be whenever Mantic Meatcrat makes a mistake and Fiend can't get by yet. There is no DRS. Once DRS kicks in, I imagine we'll see Fiend very quickly by Mantic Meatcrat on the main straight and will open up a massive gap on Shelby and everyone else. Ooh, Fiend with a twitch. But again, Fiend now way faster than Mantic Meatcrat going down the straight. He has speed. Will he dive to the inside? He will not, but DRS has been enabled, so on the next lap, he'll be able to start using DRS to try and overtake the leader. Already opening a gap on Shelby IX Spark. Fiend very anxious to get by Meatcrat, and that's the only thing that's working in Shelby's favor. Meatcrat extremely slow through Sector 2 and it's bunching the entire field up. But then the moment they get to any sort of a straightaway, those two start opening a gap against Shelby, Irons, and everyone else. Shelby considering a move to the inside of Fiend, can't make it. So this is where we're going to see the lead change happen, as Fiend's going to get by Meatcrat here without issue, using DRS assist. Shelby not close enough to capitalize. He's going to get trapped behind Meatcrat, as Fiend, with the DRS, should be able to easily go to the inside and outbrake the Aston Martin. Shelby has DRS on the following straight, but still not close enough to do anything. The Aston Martin slips in line, and that's perfect for Fiend. Now his championship rival is still trapped behind another car. and the entire field is going to come by him. Oh, and there's a big accident, and Kosichet hit him head on, and there's 3, 4, 5 cars involved. A massive accident. Kosichet, Mantic, Meatcrack both out of the race, and we have a caution. So now Shelby is back in second with no one behind him who's going to put pressure immediately as V8 Irons is coming in the pits. Snake will be behind him. Actually, I take it back. So Snake will be there. But Shelby now on the restart will be right behind Fiend and can bring the fight directly to him. But we saw it right there as Mantic Meatcrack, the tires, all of them seem to be excessively worn, got away from him and he spun out of second position right back onto the racetrack. There was nothing he could do. And Kosichet was unlucky and ran right into him. Schumacher involved also, and he needs to get an entire front wing change. They're likely going to throw on medium tires to go to the end of the race as well. Oh, those mediums will somehow still have to last for another 18 laps, so I think that Schumacher will probably have to throw on softs again close to the end of the event. So for the second Ferrari driver, despite having a relatively good run in qualifying, he's been trapped outside of the points most of the day. Classic Love already cops the field. ITZ nowhere near the field, but the field should be all gathered up near the end of this lap. I imagine we will be going green on lap 19. Fiend has the pole and has led almost every lap thus far today. His biggest rival in the championship is Chubby IX Spark, who has been right behind him for most of the day but not been able to do anything. Looking real quickly at the points as they stand right now. With Mantic Meatcrack out of the race and ITZ nowhere near the points, being 2 laps down basically. Flavor is elected to come in the pits and put on a set of mediums. This means that unless Shelby and Schumacher crash out, Ferrari should walk out here with the manufacturer championship points lead. But when it comes to the drivers' championship, Dusty has been trapped in 11th for the last while. Fiend is there in 4th. So while Shelby isn't set to inherit the points lead, Fiend would vault himself directly into very serious championship contention. Also of note, Stone Shuffle is in the race still, but he's back there in 9th. He will earn points, but he needs things to change if he wants to be closer in the fight. So right now it seems to be a 4-car battle in the Drivers' Championship between Gusty, Chubby, Spark, Stone Shuffle, and Fiend. Fiend saying to walk out here with the big haul, and Shelby might walk out here with the points lead. But we still have roughly half this race to go through. About 45% of this race to go through. Things can still change significantly. The field will be all gathered up here. We should be going green this lap. What can Chubby do against Fiend to try and take the lead and potentially race win away? There's also Snake there in the 3rd position, ready to capitalize. Of note, Herbago has 3 seconds of time penalty, as does his teammate Aaron Marr. Schumacher has 6 seconds. Classic Love and ITZ both have 6 seconds, but those 2 drivers are both laps down. There's the word, safety car in this lap. We will ride on board with Snake coming to the green flag. Can Chubby do anything to keep up with Fiend and make a run on him on the run down to turn 1? The answer is no. Nothing that Shelby can do. Snake got a good run as well, as exits the spot, is already trying to make a move against Herbago. He looks to the inside, neck and neck for the 4th position. And X is going to take the spot. Fiend has already opened up a 7/10 gap on Shelby. Ocean Lion watching this fight up ahead. He also has to deal with drivers behind him. All these guys are on faster tires. Gussie loses the position to Schumacher now. Top two opening a gap on Snake at the moment. Ocean Lion has lost touch with Irons ahead, and that's going to put him in the clutches of Stone Shuffle now. Irons is still there, working on Wild Nissan. Irons can't get a good enough run out of the corner to do anything to Wild Nissan. However, Irons has fresher tires. Nissan will likely have to pit near the end, or will still be at a tire disadvantage the entire race. Stone Shuffle to the inside of Ocean Lion. He'll get him. Now Aaron Marr is trying to capitalize. They made contact. They're both off circuit. And now Aaron Marr is going to glitch by Ocean Lion. Schumacher will take point also. Now both Ferraris once again are back in the points paying positions. Gussie is trying to get by Ocean Lion as well. Can't make the position the first few corners. Ocean Lion's going to pull aside to let the Red Bull go. He realizes that he's way faster. Iron's still trying to put pressure on Wild Nissan. And as this goes right now, Nissan is more than a second away from Herbago farther up the road. That means that when DRS gets enabled, Irons would likely have it against Nissan. And Nissan is less likely to have it against Herbago. Although Herbago's made a mistake and now Nissan's closed in a bit. Shelby at the front is closed in on Fiend going down the straight. DRS will be enabled on the following lap. So Shelby isn't done fighting for this race win yet. If he can just stay within a second of the current leader. Irons got by Nissan on the straight there, so an outstanding job on that point. A train from 6th all the way down to 11th has formed, and this could become very interesting very quickly if they all have DRS on each other going down the main straight. Look at this trio here. Nissan, Stone Shuffle, Aaron Marr, they're all being backed up by Nissan, who is on very worn hard, well not excessively, but moderately worn hard tires. They have nothing compared to these medium tires. Stone Shuffle is going to try and lead the field up through the grid here. With 14 laps to go, the mediums absolutely still have life in them. Flavor now by Ocean Lion back there in the 12th position. Shelby not close enough to have DRS against Fiend on the straight. So for now, it looks like Fiend's going to walk off with this win here. This is the interesting battle, though. Stone Shuffle being held up badly by Nissan. And Irons, neck and neck with Herbago. The fresher hard tires are easily going to work in his favor. He will take position. Schumacher trying to get by Aaron Marr on the inside. He has to back out of it. He is still in the points paying positions. He's got a very outside chance at the championship as it stands right now. He would like to get by some of these drivers ahead. Schumacher's tires are a little bit older than everyone else's ahead, but at this point in the race, that's not going to matter. What matters is that Nissan is holding this entire group up, but no one can get by him yet. Chubby Spark, time penalty for track violations. So unless Fiend starts earning time penalties, that basically puts an end to the race for the win. This will be Stone Shuffle's best chance to get by Wild Nissan here. And Aaron Moore and Schumacher will obviously want to capitalize on it as well. There's also Gusty behind the Ferrari here. Can Stone Shuffle get by Wild Nissan now? Snake loses the position to exit the spot. Here we go, to the inside is Stone Shuffle. And he'll easily get by Wild Nissan. Nissan's trapped on the outside. The car steps out just a bit. Aaron Moore not close enough to capitalize though. But Stone Shuffle has been freed, and he has 1.8 seconds until he gets to Herbago farther up, and Herbago is on even more warm tires. Here comes Aaron Moore. He wants to make a move on Nissan, but there's no point on this track that he can do it. Now Schumacher is going to capitalize. He's on the outside. Can't make it stick. On Plastic Glove, another spin in Sector 2. And he'll likely have another spin in the very next corner as well with the way he burned those tires up. Oh, no, he's actually going slow enough. Fiend has just lost the position to Chubby. We missed it completely, but the lead has changed hands. Chubby is now now ahead of Fiend. The difference, though, is that Fiend has time penalties. Chubby does not, and Fiend is going to fight back with DRS down the straight. He'll easily take it. Chubby trying to fight back. He's the crossover, but the DRS kicks in for Fiend again on the following straight. So Fiend has the position. Chubby needs to keep putting pressure on Fiend and hope that he can make Fiend make enough mistakes. So Fiend also has track violation penalties against him. Aaron Moore has now gotten by Wild Nissan, and it's Schumacher's time. Schumacher is going to try and make this overtake without DRS assist. A bold strategy, but he's made it work. Gusty now behind Nissan for Gusty, your points leader, to get back into the points taking position. He needs to get by Wild Nissan. Fiend, there it is. Time penalty for track violations for our two leaders. So for Chubby, this is great for him because he gets a chance to potentially use DRS and take the lead back from Fiend. Not the greatest exit out of the final corner for Chubby. He's going to lay on the ERS. He has the DRS. Will he make the dive at the end of the straight? No, he'll think better of it for now. Around turn 1, he'll have DRS on the following straight, but he's not close enough to make another dive going into turn 2. Stone Shuffle closing on Herbago at rapid pace. And Aaron Moore, Schumacher, and Gusty are all right behind him. They have all disposed of Wild Nissan at this point. Herbago is now the next capstone holding this pack of medium-tired cars up. And I imagine with DRS assist, Stone Shuffle should get by Herbago without too much of an issue on the subsequent lap. Turn our focus to the battle for a lead once more. Chubby, the gap is open a bit between himself and Fiend. He's still within DRS range, though. But he's losing it against Fiend. It seems like Fiend just has better pace overall here. There is lap traffic ahead. That will be ITZ. And that might be enough to compromise Fiend so Chubby can catch up on him. Plastic Glove with another accident or another spin. But there's no one around that won't do anything. Stone Shuffle gets by Herbago. Herbago's going to try and fight back, and there's contact, and Herbago into the inside wall, and that will drop immediately out of the top 9, out of the top 10, all the way down to 11th, and might even lose that to TIR Flavor, depending on how things go. Chubby now a second. Oh, wow, ITZ spun out right in front of the leaders. That brought Chubby a little bit closer to Fiend there. Not enough to do anything, though. And it's all clean track now for Fiend. Chubby's still not able to keep enough pace with Fiend. looking to make a serious shot for the lead here against him. V8 irons now has a time penalty against him. That's not going to help him when he has to do his fight against Stone Shuffle. Chubby just not able to do anything to Fiend, it would appear. X holding on steady to third, but we are not at the point of the race where the medium tires are going to start blowing off, and drivers like Snake and Irons behind on the hards will be closing in. The other element, though, is that Stone Shuffle is on medium tires, V8 Irons ahead is on hards. The gap is still 4.2 seconds, and now Stone Shuffle is spending more time trying to hold off the likes of Aaron Moore and Schumacher rather than charging up to V8 Irons. That might work out in Irons' favor. Hermago is out of the race! He is retired in the pit lane, apparently. So his race is over. That means that neither Alfa Romeo will get points today. Cubby Spark, another time penalty for track violations. So that turns the battle back in favor of Fiend. That actually puts it in a position where it exits the spot where Snake might actually end up leapfrogging Chubby on time penalties later. Chubby still has DRS that he's able to use to keep pace with Fiend. DRS and Stone Shuffle. Stone Shuffle's tires are still fresh enough to work for it. For Schumacher, he wants these two drivers ahead to make mistakes and compromise each other enough that they either give the positions on track to him or earn a bunch of time penalties that work in his favor. Clean air working very much in Stone Shuffle's favor at the moment, and even though he's holding off Aaron Marr, he's still closing a bit on V8 Irons ahead. Medium tires have not gone off the cliff yet for these guys. Interestingly enough, TIR Flavor, who also put on mediums, just doesn't have the pace. He's lost touch with his teammate Wild Nissan is currently staying outside of the points. At the lead, Chubby once more has DRS and is using it to keep pace with Fiend. Glove comes into the pits now. If they're on mediums that he'll make last to the end of this race. Battle for the lead seems to be over. Irons is still closing a little bit on Snake, but more significantly, Stone Shuffle, despite holding off Aaron Marr, is closing on Irons. Schumacher has actually lost touch with these two just a little bit. Most of the battles on track seem to have settled down at this point in the event. And there you are, another incident for Plastic Love there. It's been a horrible day for the second Red Bull driver and the second Aston Martin driver. Chubby has just set the fastest lap of the day, so he is closing on Fiend, putting pressure on him. So Chubby gained a second win on this set of hards. The battle for a lead is not over yet, but when it comes to time penalties, though, it might still be over because Fiend only has 3 seconds. Shelby has 6. Schumacher is not on pace to finish in the points just due to time penalties right now. Whoa, Shelby got really sideways there. Going to lose a whole bunch of time to Fiend in the process. So yeah, Shelby now out of DRS range, I believe, compared to Fiend. Oh no, he'll still be in DRS range, so he can still keep pace with Fiend. Fiend seems to be a lot more confident with these tires than Shelby is right now. And again, with 6 seconds and X heading to the spot having no time penalties right now, if the race was to finish as it is now, X would end up leapfrogging Shelby in final results. V8 irons closing in on Snake. The medium tires that X has given him enough of a gap against Snake that he won't have to worry about him. Irons has a time penalty, Snake does not. As the battle for a lead continues, there'll be 4 laps to go at the line. Still not close enough to do anything. Most of the battles on track seem to have pacified themselves out. V8 Irons closing on Snake, but even if he gets by Snake, the time penalties will work back in Snake's favor. And Aaron Marr has lost touch with Stone Shuffle. He's now finding himself under threat from Schumacher, as Schumacher just wants to stay far enough ahead of Wild Nissan, so he'll still earn points today. Fiend has just set the fastest lap, 119.102. So Fiend going for the full sweep of getting all the bonus points today. I don't see anyone coming into the pits to try and throw on soft tires. So it seems like he will lock that up unless someone else pulls out something amazing. Plastic Glove, another incident there. And Schumacher gets by Aaron Marr down the main straightaway. Oh, and Love is out. Love is out of the race. It's over for him. Coming up on Plastic Glove's carcass very shortly here. All right, coming into the broadcast booth now is Plastic Glove. Love, go ahead, include your audio. Rough day for you. What was going on out there?
Yeah, everything that happened at the QB it was disappointing. It was sloppy. It was going everything wrong. That much to say.
Alright, it's a shame to see that happen. Out of curiosity, though, as we watch W Spark making a dive on Fiend for the race win, potentially, I just have to ask, though, do you think you can recover from this poor day next week?
There's always a chance to recover. With next is Belgium. I think I'm pretty strong on Belgium, so they could do it.
Alright. We'll be looking forward to potentially being able to do that. It's a shame to see such a struggle for a race for you today.
Thank you.
Last word from Plastic Love. So the lead has changed. Shelby is now ahead of Fiend. As we look at the time penalties once more, Fiend still only has 3 seconds. Shelby has 6. So as it stands right now, Shelby would still finish second. He needs Fiend to get a time penalty somehow, or for Fiend to ruin the car and suddenly drop a good another 2.5 seconds behind him in this final lap. I don't see that happening. I'm not saying it can't happen, I'm just saying I don't see that happening. Most of the other battles at this point in the race have dissolved. This is it. V8 Irons has caught Snake, but I think at this point in the race, their tire wear has pretty much balanced out a bit. And although Snake's tires are older, he has fresher air going over those front tires than Irons does, so I don't think there's any way for Irons to get by, especially as the entire field is by all the DRS zones for the last time. Fiend is going to walk out of here with the win, even though he got beat by Shelby Spark on track. Shelby's going to walk out of here with second, and I imagine he's going to walk out of here with the points lead as well. Schumacher should be able to walk out here still in the 9th or 10th position, so both Ferraris will earn points today. Fiend, although he's not going to be a first driver to cross the line, he took home pole, fought for the fastest lap, and led most laps on the way to a victory here. He will win at Hungary. Shelby will finish second. Third will go to this man here, exits the spot, who makes those medium tires last long enough. Fourth will be XRL Snake. Fifth will go to V8 Irons. Sixth will go to Stone Shuffle. No, fifth gets to Stone Shuffle. Sixth is to V8 Irons. Seventh to Aaron Marr. Eighth will go to, seventh to Gusty. Eighth to Aaron Marr. Ninth to Schumacher. 10th will go to Wild Nissan GTR. 11th will go to TIR Flavor. And 12th will go to Ocean Lion. So we're going to try and get our race winner into the party here. And there it is, your in-race winner. Well, coming to the party now is Shelby Spark, who came home second. I'm curious to see if we can get Fiend into the party, though. I'm going to try and invite Fiend one more time here.
That was a good race. Me and him were just driving away from everybody. I was driving my heart
Shelby,
out.
make
dude.
sure your Shelby, make sure your audio's included. Okay, good. Yeah.
He was insane.
Well, I do have some good news for you, Shelby. Although you didn't end up winning the race, you should be able to walk out of here with the points lead, as your biggest rivals in the points didn't even come close to the top 5.
Yeah.
It was a tie going into the race.
Yeah,
You
Gusty
walk
got
out
a
of here
P7.
in the lead.
And then Fiend is like 20 points behind me. I was...
Alright, so yeah, good job on inheriting the race win. I won't lie, at several points it looked like you didn't have what it took to keep up with Fiend throughout that race. I was kind of shocked to see you rebound late.
Yeah. I don't know. Good racing.
Ah, here we are.
Very good racing, dude. Good race.
Alright, we want to go ahead and turn our focus now to our race winner, Fiend. Well, you missed out on fastest lap as ITZ got the fastest lap on the last lap possible, but you took home all the other possible points today. Pole, race win, you led the most laps today as well. What do you have to say about such a dominant performance on your end?
Well, should we got me nervous at the end there. But yeah, good race. It was a really good race. Yeah, I just needed to concentrate as long as I needed to. Really, just tried not to lose it. Tried not to spin the car or make any silly mistakes like the last few weeks, and it ended up being a really good race with me and Chubby. Well done.
Yeah. I mean, your exits
one
were
of-
insane, dude. You gained like 2/10 every exit. That was insane.
Yeah,
Off the last
when you
corner.
yeah, when you got the fastest lap, I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, I was ramping up towards the end. I was just driving. Me and you were just driving on the rails today. Like,
Yeah,
we left with you in
definitely.
third behind.
Oh yeah, we were just in a different league, weren't we, today?
Yeah, I
We
mean,
raced-
you
we
you were
raced.
insane, dude. I was
Yeah, you
catching you in the
too.
middle sector because I'm guessing, did you have less downforce?
And I had more downforce. I was running 10-11 wings.
Really? You were
Yeah.
like, did you use all your ERS on the straight? Because I was losing time on the straight, and I was using 911.
Yeah, the only time I used the DRS was on the straight. On the where the DRS was, didn't bother in the middle sectors.
Yeah, that's where I gained all my time on you.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like
yeah.
1.3 seconds behind you, and then I would gain up to like 8/10. Have a good race. Great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well done.
One other thing, Fiend, with this victory, this absolutely puts you into contention for the points for the point. The points that you earned from today's win puts you into direct contention for the championship. Do you think you can capitalize off this and run off with the title over the next few races?
I hope so. I hope that I can start to mount a bit of a challenge for the title, but Belgium next week is not going to be fun, I don't think.
It's Belgium race, dude. That's fun.
It is, yeah, we're in Spa next week, so it's going to be a tricky one, but we'll see what happens.
Alright, well, before I wrap this up, one other thing, Chubby, with neither Aston Martin driver being able to score points outside maybe fastest lap point, I can say with 100% certainty that Ferrari has taken the manufacturer's points championship lead. So good job on that part.
Yeah, my teammate was trying his best. Apparently, he got taken out 2 times in a crash, and then I think 1 on the first lap. So he did a good job to recover to 9th with all those penalties. So it was a game today for him. He was holding my rival up. So yeah.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you all go get to it. This has been XRL X3. In an hour's time on the main channel, you can catch the last race for XRL this weekend at Hungary. That will be X2. I encourage you to check that out. But until then, sayonara and goodbye.